going on, guys? Kirk here from MotoGear TV. Thank you guys for tuning in once again. Today we're going to give you guys a top 5 mods for the BMW M2. Let's get started. Now, when it comes to the F8X platform, especially for the F87 OG M2, there's a host of things you can do as far as modifications. For me, I've owned this car for about 3 years and I got it completely stock. And throughout my ownership of the car, I wanted to do things that were not only visually pleasing but also functional. Now, these mods are based on my personal opinion. For you, it might be something completely different. I know for those folks who own M2s or M3s or M4s, everyone has a different goal in mind. Me specifically, I just wanted something that was a really great street car that you can take to the track and have fun with. And I think these 5 mods that I decided to go with help to improve the overall functionality and looks of the car in general. Now, starting off with number 5. Number 5 on my list is my Turner Motorsport carbon fiber engine cover. Now, specifically for the OG M2, a lot of you guys would know that it comes with the N55B engine. Now, it may not be seen as the most favorable engine in the M series lineup, but in living with it as an owner, I've grown to appreciate it, and it's probably one of my favorite engines in general. Not only for its reliability, but also for the sound, which I'm going to get into very soon. Now, in choosing this engine cover, one of the things that kind of stood out to me is just how unique the design of it looks. This engine cover in general just really cleans everything up and it gives it a really sporty look. I've gotten a lot of compliments about it, and to me, it's probably one of the most unique standout features, especially for the engine, in my opinion. It does come in 2 finishes. You can get it in gloss carbon fiber or matte carbon fiber. I specifically went with the matte carbon fiber option, really and truly because based on a lot of things I've seen online, the gloss carbon, especially when it comes to heat, does not hold up that great. I've noticed for me, the matte carbon definitely holds up a lot better, especially under hotter conditions. And as you guys can see up close, I've had this on the car for almost 2 years and it still looks brand new, in addition to my Turner intake, which is also another one of my favorite mods. Now, with that being said, let's go on to number 4, which is gonna be the exhaust of the car. Now, what makes this a top mod for me is just the overall unique sound of the N55 motor. Now, my car is paired with a M Performance exhaust from factory and also has a VRSF catless downpipe. Now, to me, that pairing is the best combination in my opinion. It's pretty loud, but not to the point where you hear a lot of rasp or a lot of drone. To me, it's a very aggressive and sporty tone, and I just love how it sounds, especially on takeoff. When I'm going through gears, the car just sounds like an absolute rocket. Now, I have done a lot of exhaust videos in the past. If you guys want to check those out, I can leave some links down below. But overall, this was just a highlight what I love about the sound. Now, number 3 on my list is going to be the overall tune of the car. Now, this is specifically talking to 2 different tunes that I have on the car that not many people might know about. For those of you who are OG subscribers, you would know that the first tune I got on the car was by a company called Thor. Now, they're no longer in business, but I was able to do not only a transmission tune, which is going to be the GTS tune, but I also was able to code in the M2 CS handling and differential package. Now, those of you who have the GTS tune on your F8X cars, you know what a significant improvement it does to the overall transmission, especially when going through gears. For me, having the DCT version of this car, it's very clunky, especially when you're going slow. Now, some of you may have noticed this in your stock cars, but downshifting isn't as smooth as you would expect it to be. Now, the GTS tune on this car really clears all of that up. The shifts are much more smoother and precise. Downshifting, you don't really even feel it at all. Everything is just synchronized. And to me, honestly, this is probably the closest thing you're gonna get to a Porsche PDK. Now, I'm a little bit sad that the Thor tune isn't available anymore. It was probably one of the best transmission and handling package tunes you can probably get for these cars. I do know that there was some type of legal issue with how close it was to the exact tune used by BMW, but I'm not here to get into that. This was just to kind of highlight what an improvement it made to the car. Now, in addition to that, the car also has a Stage 2 Plus tune from MHD. Now, those of you who do follow the channel or who have seen the video in the past, you know that we did a full install and review on that package. That paired up with all of my bolt-ons, including my intake, downpipe, exhaust, and also upgraded intercooler and charge pipe. It really improved the overall response of the car. The power delivery is much more aggressive, especially when you're in Sport or Sport Plus. And overall, you know, I've been using MHD for a number of years and I do love how reliable the tune has been. I haven't really had any significant issues with running the tune on the car. Now, I did have a boost leak that was caused by a faulty O-ring from my intercooler to charge pipe connection, but other than that, the tune has been fantastic for me. Now, don't get me wrong, the purpose of this car was never to be the fastest on the street. However, the MHD tune does do a really good job in improving the overall power and response of the car, and I think that in general sets the overall tone of what the OG M2 was made for. Moving on to number 2, and that's going to be on the interior of the car, and this is probably something that not a lot of people would have known about the M2. Just so you guys know, the OG M2 did not come with these seats. These seats are actually out of a BMW M4. Now, I did do a video on how I got these seats. For me, it's probably one of the best bangs for your buck if you don't want to go into a full-fledged bucket setup. I know for some, having like a fixed bucket is not really the most ideal option, and on top of that, you will lose the ability to go to your back seat very easily. For this, it's plug and play. It fits in very nicely with the overall interior of the car because it was made to fit this exact dimensions. Everything works as it should. I have electric, I have heat, the back seats fold down as it should, and to me, the main benefit of me getting this seat is how it really hugs you into place without being too uncomfortable. Now, as you guys can see, I've kept this pretty clean for the most part. The leather is still nice and matte, not too much wear on it, and the bolsters much more aggressive than the comfort seats that come in the M2. Now, this was probably one of the things I wish the OG M2 came with from factory. You know, they did improve it by doing it in the M2 competition, but for those owners who don't have the M2 competition, this is definitely a must-have upgrade for sure. And I just want to address this because I know a lot of people are gonna probably ask in the comments. I have not hooked up the electric current for the emblems to light up. I know I've been slacking on that, but it's just something that I haven't done as yet. All right, and now the moment of truth. Everyone wants to know this. Everyone has asked me, what is my #1 top mod for the M2? Of course, it had to be my BBS wheels. Now, I think this was probably the most favorable mod for me, not only because it's BBS, but because of how it makes the car feel. Now, for those of you who've never ran forged wheels before, going from the stock cast wheels to these, it makes a huge difference, especially while driving on the road. The lightweight design, the overall smaller diameter, it's less rotational mass. It makes for a much more comfortable ride, especially comparing it to the 19-inch Bostons that I had. These specifically, I did do a video on how I got them. I did get them pre-owned from a car dismantler in California. Really great condition. Wheels were already ceramic coated. It came with the tires setup I wanted, and it did come with the overall specs that fit this car. The specs of the wheels are 18 by 9.5 in the front, and 18 by 10.5 in the rear. Now the offsets, I'm going to put it on the screen just so you guys can see. Here's for the front and here's for the rear. Now as far as the tires go, it has Michelin Cup 2 tires, probably one of the grippiest street tires you can get. Now, while it is very grippy, it's not the best for all year round. In Florida especially, it does rain a lot, and these, when it's wet or when it's cold, do not hold up. If I had to switch and choose a different tire, I probably would go for a Michelin Pilot Sport 4S, but nonetheless, the Cup 2s are probably one of my favorite tires just for the overall grip when it's warm. On the rear, I'm running a 295/30 tire, and as you guys can see, the fitment is great. No spacers at all. And then on the front, I'm running 265/35, and again, no complaints. Flush fitment, just how I like it. This has to be my overall top mod, and it makes such a big difference, especially while driving. Visually, aesthetically, functionally, everything. I think it really complements the overall final look of the car, and I'm truly very happy with being able to purchase them. Now I think that's gonna do it for this video. I'm gonna wrap it up right here. If you guys enjoyed those top 5 mods, make sure to leave some comments down below, smash the like button, and if you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. Now, we're trying to pump out some more informational content like this to kind of give you guys a different perspective as far as ownership is concerned. This is a top 5 mod video, but if you want us to do a full breakdown of all the mods that I've done to the M2, just let me know. The car has honestly come such a long way over the past 3 years, and I'm really happy with everything that I've done to it so far, and it really ties into the overall experience. I want to let you guys know that no matter what you do to your car, no matter what mods you choose to do, make sure that it's something that you like and you're not just doing it to impress others. A lot of people get caught up in trying to have the most expensive thing, the most flashy thing, and I don't really think it should be like that. I think that whatever you have on the car, it should be for a specific purpose, and you should be using it for its intent. And I personally think everything that I put on the car, I'm definitely using it to its fullest extent. But gonna wrap up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. As usual, stay tuned for more geared up content. We got a lot more to cover, but until then, we're gone.